All right, so we're going to jump right into episode 4 of Interview with the Vampire. Let's go. I'm trying to be better about being more efficient in terms of recording and editing. And part of that is just me not talking for 20 minutes before actually playing the episode. So we're just going to jump right in. I'll try to minimize pausing. Let's see how it goes.
I'm a vampire.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was bad.
But I could save her.
Yes. New character alert. The ruthless pursuit of blood with all a child's demanding. Oh, no. He's not going to change her immediately, is he?
You were scheduled to have your levodopa transfusion this week.
Been tapping my phone.
That's kind of crazy. That's kind that they're helping him continue his treatments. You know, keeping the man alive, but at the same time, a lot of HIPAA laws have been broken. I'm trying to understand a bit more about this guy, because the fact that he said electronic message or whatever he said instead of email feels like he's also not of this time. So I'm curious where that guy's from.
Quite the house plan.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Notion of hers, he was missing the natural world.
Does Louis leave this place? Does he go out at night at all?
We suggest you begin on the left.
Are these diaries or something? Old diaries or... Oh, Claudia. Okay, that's the name of the little girl that he found. So maybe these are her diaries. Paris, 1945. My whole dead self feels... My whole dead self. So she's already turned. Where is Claudia now, I wonder?
Auntie told me to stay put and keep away from the door. Closed my eyes and waited for the fire to take me too. That's when the Black Angel came.
The Black Angel.
Help me! Give me some water!
Is this back at the house?
A fine house with
Oh,
gold
yeah, it
ceilings
is.
like the ones in the picture houses. Pain got worse.
Oh, so he turned her right then and there.
Cole, what do we do? Nothing. A human entanglement.
And then I saw the White Angel.
And she'll be what? A lapdog. Not a dog. A daughter.
Please.
Oh, you can already feel the jealousy building. Does Louis not know how to turn her?
The White Angel, he bit me right in the neck. And I thought, what a strange thing for an angel.
It's crazy that she remembers all these details, actually. Yeah, the fact that she believes that these men are angels when they're a bit closer to the opposite. Ugh.
And then I tasted it.
Enough!
And what I thought were angels were really hell demons.
Right.
I decided to make the best of it. You got some of your own I can have?
Oh my goodness. Girl.
I had a lot of questions. So this my new house?
Is if you want it to be.
And I think this probably is going to be the case. It's one thing, right? Because, you're talking about being quite literally bloodthirsty. And we see the ways in which Louis himself struggles to, or at least in the beginning, struggle to control his impulses, I guess. And over time, he realized the ways in which it didn't align with his own sense of right and wrong and decided to take an alternative path. But it's day in and day out, it takes a certain level of self-control. But it's if you have a child and you give a child this kind of power, as well as this kind of burden in a way, it's a bit nerve-wracking to imagine how they'll come to it, because children obviously do not have the same self-discipline as an adult. And so I'm actually a little scared, because she seems very immediately okay, cool, I'm a vampire, let's go. And I'm nervous what that will entail for them. I think she's probably gonna get them in a lot of trouble. But even just seeing Louis and how, of course, the desperation in terms of Lestat saving her at first, But even just like the look that he had when she asked, like, can I have some of your blood too? And he's like, oh, you want more? Like, he's gonna be like such a, what do you call it? Like, whatever the opposite of daddy's girl is. Daughter's dad? No. Girl dad. Girl dad. I feel like he's gonna be such a girl dad. I already see it for him. Also, maybe this is a good opportunity to bring up the fact that part of the reason why this video is oh so late is because I was traveling. I was in New Orleans. And so while I was there, I actually got a chance to visit the Gallier house, which is the house that is used for like the exterior scenes of like the Lestat Louis home. But just looking at this, like this courtyard, like that was also part of like the house that I got to see. And so it was cool seeing some of this in person.
I heard you cry for help. We can hear people's thoughts.
What?
Lestat is not happy about this.
You're wondering if your nails will be like that forever. And the answer is yes.
Oh, wait. Wait, I'm glad this actually clarified something. I don't think I realized that it's not that vampires can't read other vampires' thoughts. It's that, I guess, the maker and the makey, I guess, aren't able to read each other's thoughts. Is that right? Or is it just that the maker can't read the vampire they created's thoughts? Either way, but they can still read her thoughts. Or Louis can still read her thoughts, at least.
So you can hear me, but he can't. That make him the dumb one?
Oh no! Wait, that's gonna cause so many. Oh no! Oh, that's just adding to the wedge that I'm sure she is going to drive between the two of them. Or just like the complications to their relationship that her presence is going to have, because obviously Lestat is not happy about a new addition to their family. But on top of that, now she and Louis are going to be able to communicate to one another, and he's going to have no idea what they're saying. Oh, that's going to drive him crazy. Because they're going to have their little jokes. I feel like in a way that's going to bring them closer together in a way that he's not able to have with either of them. Oof. It's similar to there are like some families where, you know, let's say one parent speaks a language and they teach it to their child, but their spouse doesn't speak that language. And I've just heard stories of that spouse feeling really left out because they're not able to engage with the, you know, the spouse and the child in the same way that they can with one another. So that dynamic's definitely at play here.
Did he make you too?
He did.
What's she saying?
He has to rely on my words.
Oh no.
I can see where this is going. But not if we're going to have family secrets.
Eek.
We're a family?
How old is she supposed to be? Also, having gone to New Orleans, like, really recently, I think that also further, like, I don't know, enhances the experience of watching the series, because I'm like, wow, yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like I connect to it a bit more.
Uncle Les and Daddy Lou are rich.
Uncle Les and Daddy Lou.
They have nice clothes
That's
and a
funny.
nice auto carriage and a funny way of being nice to each other.
She's very observant. Oh my god, to make a child kill someone.
Not sure how I feel about that pleated skirt.
It's chiffon. It has movement.
Oh my god. What? Not them arguing about her outfit.
Looks like she takes after me.
The fashion.
Tremendous.
This is too much. Looks like she takes after me.
Claudia! Claudia!
Oh gosh.
Get back here, Missy.
Oh my god. The like shift from that to them being father figures is funny. Uh-oh.
I said where?
She's being a little creepy.
No! Don't! Not again!
Oh my god. Jeez.
Gotta listen to your elders when they're talking. This is
I'm hungry.
hungry. You just ate a man twice your size.
Lady metabolism is permanent now.
Oh.
Sedation is what she needs.
She'll settle.
Oh my god.
She talked to the book again.
Why do you talk to the book?
The book is my friend.
The book is her friend. The book is a book.
Wait, this is so cute. Wait, so she shares his coffin? Oh. So that's even like, oh man. Again, sort of like further representation of their bond and the continued development of their relationship outside of and separate and independent from Lestat.
Uncle, I got a question. You may me, and you may Louis. Who may you?
They speak in French. They gonna fight now.
Putain de merde! Bonne nuit!
Oh my god.
Bonne nuit.
This is such a funny dynamic.
Good evening, sirs. Lost in the family?
Oh my gosh.
A heart condition. Yeah, she gonna pass real soon.
Actually, I was gonna say, okay, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, okay, so what impact does this have on their intimacy? But I guess we get the answer. So her being in the same room, it's too much. Oh my god. And these things are not soundproof, is what we've learned in this episode. Like, if he can hear her scribbling in her journal, she can hear a lot of other things. That's so crazy.
Uncle Les got secrets. I thought we weren't supposed to keep secrets.
Les got a few years on us. Sometimes, old people don't like talking much about the past.
Old people.
How does it work? Love between two men.
Oh. Uh-oh. Not the birds and the bees talk.
I don't know. Works like love.
How old is she? Maybe like 15, I'd say. Oh. Ew.
I don't know how you do that.
Some killing has a consequence.
This is so cute. What a great resource for him to be able to get her perspective directly without having to speak to her. Oh, interesting. So he's Muslim. I wonder how he reconciles that with all of this.
I thought Louis was your god.
Oh,
How does Muhammad feel about vampires?
Daniel is so ruthless. Like, I love it, but oh my, because in my mind, I'm like, my question would be like, so how do you reconcile your faith with, you know, your admiration for and continued interaction with Louis? And he's just like, I thought Louis was your god. Like, still asking the same questions, but in such a, like, just significantly more aggressive way. It's just so funny.
You're not from Dubai. I thought you were a native.
Dubai's a child, Mr. Malloy. No one's a native.
That's true. That's a good point. I want to learn more about that guy.
I can't believe how time flies when there's people to eat and money to spend.
Oh my goodness. I feel like they're gonna run out of people.
How old are you again, Uncle Liz?
160. 159.
Oh. Okay, so glad we got an answer to that finally.
Daddy Lou, when am I gonna grow into this, though?
We'll find one of your size.
Oh yeah. I think if I recall correctly from the movie, which I have very, very few recollections of, I think there's like a scene where Claudia in that one basically goes on a whole rampage about the fact that she's going to be a child essentially, or in the body of a child forever. And I feel like that's definitely something incoming. I think their focus on her birthday and then asking about Lestat's age, talking about the passage of time and all of that. Like, I think it's leading up to that realization within her and that personal conflict. Because that, to be a I don't know, 14-year-old or however old she is forever honestly sounds miserable.
We eat. We laugh. We love.
This is so precious.
I didn't know he had a mama till he lost her.
Oh.
Everything all right?
Never seen a dead one look so peaceful.
Oh,
It's your Aunt Grace and her husband Levy.
he didn't even introduce them.
We need to talk about the house.
Do they want to buy it from him or something?
We can pay you in installment.
You don't need the money.
You forget what I did to that dog, Grace?
Oh my God, not him like threatening Grace.
I had the papers drawn up.
Before. Oh wow. Yeah.
Daddy Lou said I had been away from people too long. But Uncle Les said I behaved just fine. But we're immortal!
You can still smash your pretty little head and it take long months to recover.
Really?
Sometimes Uncle Les and I have a lot in common.
Murder?
This is what the meat calls a lover's lane. And by my estimation, no blood is sweeter.
Wait, what?
Come out here to do math?
Been too sheltered, my belladonna beauty.
So they're gonna kill people while they're having sex?
You must be most ferocious.
Oh no, that's the worst way to go.
That's nice.
Oh no, because now she's being exposed to it before. Oh gosh.
You gonna stand there watching, little girl?
Oh God. Oh God. Does she have to do it in like the worst?
Something evil.
Oh, yes. She's with me.
Oh gosh. There's so much happening in this episode. And I think because I'm actively trying not to pause, I feel like I'm not able to really talk about and process these things. But yeah, so like I was saying before about the like primary conflict of Claudia is that she's essentially frozen in time in like a period of adolescence. And so she still hasn't been exposed to a lot. She's still young and naive and unknowledgeable about the world. And so she's learning a lot of things for the first time. And I feel as though, and I think this is something that you see in a lot of media around, you know, if there's a young girl who, for whatever reason, is stuck at that age, whether it's because she's a vampire or like the first thing that came to mind was, I think her name was like Monster Girl or something from the show Invincible. And her power essentially, I think every time she turns into a monster, she gets a little bit younger or something. And so age-wise is older, has lived many more years than the way she presents. And so it just causes a lot of complication for her romantic life and like sexual life and like all these things. And so I think it's very similar to what I presume Claudia is going to have to contend with. Right? She is learning about things like sex for the first time, seeing things like, I don't know, a developed woman's body and things like that. And she's like probably thinking to herself like, okay, when am I going to reach that stage of my development? And the unfortunate answer is never.
There is beyond comprehension.
Yeah, I'm sure Louis is not happy about that.
But it's like something opened up in my head, in my body.
Oh, no.
For 7 months now.
Oh, she's 18.
And it's time I started acting like it.
Oh, but she's 18. Okay. She's in like in her younger body, but has lived 18 years in total. I see. Oh my gosh, not the makeup and the outfit.
Look at you. I didn't recall buying that out.
I wear better though.
Oh goodness. Wow. It's so weird to see this after literally walking down these streets.
Fell into her mama's closet.
Oh.
Darky playing dress up in the dark.
Yikes. Oh God, yeah.
Down, Jones.
Look a little sick there.
Wait. Oh, okay. He looks familiar for a second. Oh, goodness. Love interest? Oh, Louis gonna have such a problem with this.
His name is Charlie.
Charlie.
Veins like rivers. I want to know what his tongue tastes.
Ooh.
If he looks up, likes you. If he doesn't,
Oh. Oh.
well, hello there again, diary. I finally got a few secrets.
In case you're feeling faint. How cute. Oh, yikes.
Claudia, are you blocking me? This is your father speaking.
I keep forgetting who can listen to whose mind. So Louis can read her mind. Yikes. What's gonna happen when they find out? I hope she doesn't hurt this man. He seems sweet.
Claudia, this isn't...
What? A boy sends flowers, has to go somewhere fun.
Yeah, cute, but
I'm what?
Young, too young.
young.
Oh.
Teen.
No way you older than me, Claudia.
Oh God. This just creates such an odd. Oh, this just is such an odd. Oh.
Claudia, you don't even look like a girl.
I hope she doesn't kill him.
You're an angel.
Oh, wait, is she drinking his blood? Oh no, oh no. Oh no.
Charlie?
Oh my gosh.
Charlie?
It's easy to get carried away when you're young and in love.
Like the fact that Lestat's like smiling about it.
Is that? You drained him dry. Now go on. Clean up after yourself.
Oh gosh.
Stop squirming and watch.
Oh my gosh.
Remember this? His face as it melts.
Oh God.
This is why we never get close to mortals.
Wow. Well, that was unfortunate. Charlie. I mean, you can't really blame her per se, because even Louis, with someone who he's known for a significant part of his life and had long-standing deep feelings for, even he struggled in when they were getting intimate to like kind of rein himself back in. And so, I mean, he also literally almost killed his own nephew, right? So, like I said, I think someone who is that young, will always struggle more than an adult in terms of being able to control themselves. That being said, it's interesting because this lesson that it seems that this lesson that it seems like he's trying to teach her is actually the same one he's been trying to teach Louis, but for her, in a way, it's more of a, like, I think for Louis, the lesson that he learned about distancing himself from humans and his family and the like came over time. Whereas for Claudia, this was a pretty quick lesson for her. And so she actually they've already showed in the episode so far the ways in which Claudia has more qualities that are more aligned to Lestat than Louis. But I think this particular situation will probably push her further towards that end of the spectrum even faster than Louis will ever achieve. I also think that this is probably just a further example of how Lestat maybe does not have the same affections for Claudia that Louis does. And I think also just the different nature of Lestat's relationship with Louis versus Claudia. Claudia was a reluctant adopted child, whereas Louis is his eternal lover. But I think he was actually a bit more patient and maybe a bit softer with Louis in terms of driving home some of his vampiric truths. But it seems like a little more, I don't know, heavy-handed, I think, and a bit more impatient, not even impatient, but a bit more or a bit less kind with Claudia than it's been with Louis, right? Like when Louis was like, "Oh my goodness, I almost killed my nephew. Like this is so terrible." And Lestat's more like, "Well, I told you, you can't get close to them. You have to create distance between them. You have to leave your family behind. It is what it is." Anyway, let's go to the opera. Whereas he's just like, "Look at what you did." Watch his face burn and watch him turn into ash so you learn this lesson. Like, there's just a heavier hand with Claudia than we've seen him with Louis so far.
Vivid writer, isn't she? A singular style.
And Frank meets Stephen King.
Interesting combination.
Claudia was
Difficult?
everything.
Oh.
I loved her unconditionally.
Aww.
The chaos, the crisis of my former existence, silenced.
That's true, actually.
You had a daughter.
I had a daughter.
I've got two.
And if you were to come across their diaries and learn in detail how and when you failed them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, is that in a lot of ways, obviously the primary focus of this episode is Claudia. We're hearing a lot of it from Claudia's own voice and her own writings. So of course we're focusing less on Louis, but in a lot of ways, it feels like his personal struggles have taken a back seat in a way, because so much of his, I guess, time and energy is focused on her. And I think that's something that you hear a lot of people when they talk about having children as well, that like they don't even have time. And then, you know, for better or for worse, have time to worry about their own issues. And they have the opportunity and the like, it's just sort of required that the children and their well-being end up being first priority. I mean, she did mention that he and Lestat still have fights and spats and things like that, but in a lot of ways it feels like there's, outside of, you know, some of the chaos of the things that she brings, like a bit of like an equilibrium to their family unit. Like it feels like, I don't know, like he's a very emotional character, and so he's gone through several roller coasters, but he actually seems pretty, I don't know, he's pretty good. All things considered.
Charlie's death ushered in one of the darkest eras in our lives. Claudia was
A Band-Aid for a shitty marriage.
But yes, that's almost certainly what she felt like.
It's funnier when they fought in French. And Diary, you'd think a girl whose mama died in childbirth, whose daddy gave her away to a mean old auntie, he beat her, because no one said she couldn't.
So she went through a lot even prior to this.
Well, you'd think that girl wouldn't know what funny was. But you'd be wrong, Diary.
Wow.
So she can stay in the same flat-chested, hairless crotch, 14-year-old baby doll body as her mind and spirit turn 19. Well, let me tell you something.
Oh no. Oh no.
The first man I killed called me the devil. The last boy I'll ever love in this world called me an angel.
Oh gosh.
I'm just getting started.
Wow. A little bit of self-harm. So yeah, that was a great episode. So much happened. I think one thing that is difficult to kind of keep track of is the passage of time. There isn't necessarily an easy way, but I think because the episode started with Louis picking up Claudia, bringing her back to the house, and having Lestat change her into a vampire. So now we get confirmation that she was 14 at that point. And by this part of the story, at least, she's 19. So over the course of this episode, 5 years have passed. And so, okay, so that is actually a bit helpful. So this was 5 years worth of development, I guess, for her. And yeah, and it ended like this. Okay, sorry, my head's all over the place. So there's sort of a lot of things happening here. So it's actually funny thinking back to my reaction to episode 1 of the series and how something that I did not love was the fact that essentially Louis being turned into a vampire was done, in my opinion, under duress. But, you know, some people point to Lestat bringing, like, basically kind of asking for Louis' consent. But, again, dubious consent, whatever. Doesn't matter. And then what followed was Louis being turned into a vampire, having those early periods of excitement, I guess, around it, and exploration of his newfound abilities and just his newfound existence, really. But then over time, we saw the reality of his situation really dawn on him in terms of what that meant for his relationship with his family, what that meant for his relationship to humanity, what that meant for even his relationship with Lestat. It took some time, I think, getting past the honeymoon period of being a vampire and realizing all of the limitations that are essentially put on you in this form, right? You gain a lot, but you also lose a lot. And in a lot of ways, Louis turning Claudia was against her will. She was also in a dire state where she had accepted death ultimately, and he brought her back and was like, all right, what's that? Let's turn her into a vampire. And so in a lot of ways, for him, what he viewed as the act of a good Samaritan by giving someone who's about to lose their life a new lease on life. In his mind, or the way he could portray it, is he was trying to do something good. He was trying to save someone. In a way, like, he's trying to atone for his own selfish actions, but acted selfishly again by turning her into a vampire to, like, resolve his own guilt in a way. Because she didn't ask to be this way. And, now she's in a position where she really has to, like, there's just so much of her, a lot of her development as a person, as an adult, happened as a vampire in a 14-year-old's body. So, like, whilst she was still learning about the world and life, she's doing so whilst also learning about being a vampire, murder, and other, like, it's like she was being, in a lot of ways, just exposed to certain things, I think, earlier than her mind was really capable of understanding. And so I think that's why everything with Charlie occurred, because, like, she hasn't matured. Her frontal lobe has not developed, and I guess technically won't develop ever. And so it's just really unfortunate, this position that she's been put in, because again, it's she didn't consent to this, and now she has to suffer. And so, at the end, we're seeing her, commit, like, an act of self-harm in a way. For a second, when I was first watching it, I was like, is she going to, like, my mind was going to, like, suicide. But I mean, that's definitely not the case, because the way that she wrote in her diary about essentially her mental state at this point basically suggests that, oh, this is only the beginning. So she's harming herself in some way, but I think this is, like, the start of a very probably, like, unhinged spiral and descent into darkness, because, and Louis said himself that this was, like, ended up being a very dark period for the family. I mean, the scene with her in her coffin, sort of, like, going through all of these different emotions, it's like, yeah, I think she's hit a psychological breaking point, and I think things are gonna get a bit crazy with her. There is even also like there was a scene where they're like, no, you've got us, and she's like, I don't want you. Like, that's also the thing that sucks, is like, in a lot of ways, Louis and Lestat chose each other. Again, dubious consent or whatever. But in a lot of ways, Louis and Lestat chose each other. She did not choose them, right? She did not choose Louis, and she definitely didn't choose Lestat. And so, yeah, it's like she's trapped with these people that, she's of course grown to love and all these things, but like in the same way that a child doesn't choose their parents, I guess, she didn't choose them. But the problem is, for a child brought into the world to two parents, they have other means of connecting with other people, right? They don't have to rely solely on those parents. They're able to go out into the world and find and develop friendships. They're able to, have relationships, romantic relationships. They're able to go off and have their own children, if they want to. And so it's all of the negative aspects of being a child without any of the opportunities and potentiality. I don't know if that's a word. Potential, I guess, of being a person beyond that. So yeah, all of the future potential of being an adult where you can break free from your parents if that's something that you want to do, and have an entire life and create an entire life outside of them and beyond them, that is not possible for her. I mean, where my mind goes is okay, try to find other vampires and try to live a life away from humans, because that's essentially the lesson that Lestat tried to teach her, is that she cannot get close to any mortal beings. And so her only other options then are other immortal beings that are not her dad and uncle. That's really difficult. I understand her struggle, truly. I mean, the toxicity of Louis and Lestat's relationship continues, but I think it's and yeah, I was saying before, it's some people, they're like, oh, when you have a kid, that just sort of fixes everything. Because that's the thing, right? The scene before we see Louis go and save Claudia, he essentially was like, you're gonna be alone forever and we're not compatible, and essentially broke up with Lestat, and then immediately comes back I have a child.
I have a child? Please, I'm all she has in the world.
Please, she's all I have in the world. Oh yeah, Louis' mother passed away. Again, showing more of the passage of time. At this point, familial relationship severed. Mom's dead. Grace is asking for, them to be able to buy the house from him, essentially, so they can be completely, that there are essentially no more attachments between them and Louis. Which is sad that, it all ended this way. But, based on sort of what Lestat said and what we've seen, it was pretty inevitable. I don't know to what extent you can really blame anyone, although Lestat sort of awakened this interest in sexuality and romance. Also, they were fucking in the same room as her. It was gonna happen regardless, so you can't really blame anyone for it. But it is a really sort of sad and tragic lesson for her to learn, and because she had to learn it in this way, I think that's gonna lead her down this path of darkness. And so sad to see it occur, but also as a viewer, I'm excited to see how that goes down. And so yeah, excited for the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to continue on my journey throughout the series, feel free to subscribe. Leave a comment, curious your thoughts on this episode, as well as Claudia as a character so far, not in the future. And with that, thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.